Hey, I'm Jennifer Hurwitz, and welcome to Doing Relationships Right. Raw, authentic, and insightful, this podcast is a no bullshit look at all things relationships. The good, the not so good, and the what the hell was that? No worries, I've got you, and we'll figure it all out together without taking ourselves too seriously here on Doing Relationships Right. Are you frustrated with online dating? Confused by all the new apps and fancy dating sites? Do you find yourself choosing the wrong person again and again? Well, studies show that hiring a dating coach can maximize your online dating experience. So no worries, I've got you. And I've created a virtual course called Doing Dating Right. It's a 5-video series that you can complete at your own pace in your own space, right at home. How to write your online dating bio, pick that perfect picture, and so much more. Want more info? Go to my website at jenniferhurwitz.com. Again, it's jenniferhurwitz.com. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. This is Doing Relationships Right. I'm Jennifer Hurwitz, and I'm your host every Tuesday and every other Friday this season. I've decided to drop a Friday because I'll be honest, I'm tired. I'm tired, y'all. I just got to do it. But I have an amazing guest today. I say that every week. I'm like, I have the best guest ever. But I do. I have an amazing guest, and I'm so excited because I'm looking at Dr. Tari. Can I call you Dr. Tari? Can I do that? Yeah. Dr. Tari Mack. And I'm just so excited because she is a relationship expert, celebrity. I have to throw that in there. Celebrity relationship expert because I've seen it, Miss J-Lo and everything. Best-selling author. She's been on Access Hollywood. You've been on something else too?
I've been on CBS News. I've been in Cosmo, Glamour.
You're like famous.
Yeah,
like
pretty.
Famous.
I mean, pretty
I'm
much.
Just, you know what? That's all there is to it. I'm just so glad to have you. I'm just so excited to have you. So hi, honey. How are you? Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm wonderful.
How long do I say Happy New Year?
I don't know. Whatever feels aligned for you, Jen.
Thank you. I love that. I love whatever. I feel alive. It is aligned. I'm going to say Happy New Year to you. Let's talk. Let's do this. Okay. So you have a lot of really cool stuff that I stalk you a little bit. I do. Okay. I'm going to be honest.
I'm not scared.
Since our Clubhouse days.
Yes.
Which, are you still on Clubhouse?
No.
No, me either. Oh,
I got overwhelmed.
Me too. It was fun for a while.
Yeah. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so tell me, let's start. I have some questions for you. Your book, Every Relationship is a Test.
Yes.
Right, okay. Master your love lessons and get the love you deserve.
Yes.
I love it. Tell me, first of all, tell me about you.
Okay.
I'm going to stop talking. My listeners are like, please shut up, Jen, and tell me about you.
Okay, great.
I'll start it.
Thanks, Jen. So yeah, I have been a clinical psychologist for over 20 years. But in the past 10 years, I've kind of moved in the direction of coaching, speaking, TV, celebrity, all of that stuff. I wrote the book several years ago, and the impetus for the book was two things. One, after sitting with so many amazing women for 20 years in my therapy office and hearing them talk about their relationships, seeing the beginnings of relationships, the middles of relationships, and the endings of relationships, I started to see patterns. And a woman would come into my office and start talking about this great new person she'd met. And I could tell you right away, based on how she was talking about it and the details she gave me, whether it was going to work out.
Oh.
And, when I'm a therapist, I can't say that to someone. Right. Now, when I'm a coach, I can. As a coach, right. You have a lot more freedom. People want the answers. They want you to help them get somewhere. Right. So that was the first impetus for the book. I wanted to write a guide to hand to every single client I work with and say, read this and then go date. Because if you want a relationship, you need to know all of this stuff. You need to do all of this work, and then you're going to get what you actually want. And the second impetus for the book was my own journey, because, I talk about this all the time. For the first half of my life, I was and I say this with love, a complete mess when it came to my personal life and specifically relationships. And when I had my own kind of awakening and I really started to look at myself instead of searching desperately for a man and for a relationship to make me happy and to fulfill me, that's when everything in my life started to change.
Right.
And I see so many women on the same journey. So basically the work I do now, the books I write, the programs I run are everything that I wish somebody would have come to me in my 20s and 30s and told me.
Did that too.
You know?
Yeah. Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Like woulda, coulda, shoulda. That was my book. Like, I just wish that I could have told me back then what I know now.
Yeah. And I mean, that is so much about what our journeys and the pain and the, you know, the struggle is about. So we can learn it and then share it and help other people. That's how I see it.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I feel like if I would have, you know, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have listened to me anyway.
No, exactly. And that's,
right?
You know what, you'll do the work when you're ready. You'll find the person that's going to help you when you're ready, you know, and if you're not ready, that's okay too. You've got more learning to do. We always have more learning to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like I'm constantly growing and changing, and even like having guests on my podcast and learning from y'all and learning from, and then I'm like, oh, wow, that's something I didn't know. And I can coach that too. Right. It's just amazing.
It is cool.
Yeah, it is. It is really cool. So, I do have a question. Do you, and I think that I know the answer, but I'm going to ask for my listeners.
Yeah.
How do you feel about when you get out of a relationship or you get out of a divorce or whatever the case is, out of a marriage? How long, or this, I get this question all the time. And how long do you feel like someone should wait? What is your take on loving yourself first, caring about yourself first before you move forward? I already know your answer, but.
Yeah, I don't think there is a set time. I can't say like for every person, you need to wait this amount of time. Right. You know, you have to meet yourself where you're at. So for me, when I went through my divorce, and by the way, divorce was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, I did date right away. Was I ready to find my next long-term relationship? No. And that's okay. But I needed, you know, my needs at that time were to be seen by other people, to explore who I was, to remember who I was. And I did that through dating. I think the important part is that people are honest with themselves about why they're choosing what they're choosing. And some people get out of a marriage and they're immediately looking for another relationship.
Right.
And that isn't going to work, because you do need that. And I'm not saying that couldn't work, but you have to make sure that you are doing the self-work, the self-reflection, so that you don't blindly repeat the same mistakes. And the book, you know, Every Relationship is a Test, is basically that. We keep getting the same lessons over and over again. The universe lovingly keeps giving us the same situations, the same people, for us to respond differently, because we have to change if we want our relationships to change, if we want our relationship outcomes to change. Right. So until we start looking at ourselves and being honest with ourselves, we'll keep avoiding, we'll keep seeking relationships for secondary gains. We'll keep, we're making all these mistakes and sabotaging ourselves without even knowing it.
And the craziest thing for me is, this is true confessions, but like they always say, like the shoemaker's kid goes without shoes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the coach that I can coach everybody else. Yeah. But like, I'm like, what am I? I've caught myself in so many relationships, my own, where I'm like, Jennifer, you know better. Like, what are you doing, girl? Like that is a flat out red flag. And I'm like, why didn't I see it?
Right.
And so what is that? Why can't we, I think when I say we, why can't we see that when it's going on, when it's happening, and we look back and we're like, I knew it, right? Is that what do you, I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's that we can't see it. Well, so
we don't want to.
Well, you know what? When I think about myself 20 years ago and some of my relationships, I had two in particular that were very toxic.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know that the way I was feeling and the things that were happening in that relationship were not okay, were toxic, were unhealthy, right? I know now.
Right. I got to tell you, just by looking at first of all, if you don't follow Dr. Tari Mack, you must, because you have there are some ththings on your feed, on your Instagram feed. And I was like, even now, like I've been coaching for 5 years. I was like, wait a minute, that's toxic. I mean, I was like, wow, that's been happening to me. And I didn't even realize that was considered toxic. I just thought that's something you work through.
Right. Right.
And so it's very interesting because, right?
We're always learning, right?
We don't know what we don't know.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, as we continue to do the work, and when I say do the work, part of that is like being open and being honest with ourselves, being open to feedback, being open to, learning and the idea that we don't know everything. So sometimes
Right.
we have to go through these relationships that are toxic or abusive, or that maybe we needed to learn to set boundaries so we could learn to do that. So we know
Right.
what those things are. And then as we know more, we can do things differently. That's the important part. Right.
And I think that you also think, correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of it stems from your childhood.
Oh, yeah.
You really do believe that?
Yeah. So one of the things that I do, which I love to do, is I give relationship readings, which is essentially like people fill out. Yeah.
That's my next question.
They fill out this huge questionnaire. Not huge.
Okay.
I mean, it's like
I want to do
pages.
it.
Oh my God.
I'm going to come to you.
Okay.
I'm so much. This is so cool to me. So it's a relationship reading.
Yeah. Right? So basically it's this questionnaire that I developed. If we were going to work together in therapy or coaching for a year or two, it's all the questions we would deep dive into.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm been moving out of therapy because therapy is like you hold space, you help people come to their own conclusions. I'm kind of impatient now because I can
like, no,
see
I got
things.
you. You're like, come on.
Yeah. So
that's how I feel.
So people fill out this questionnaire, which, by the way, elicits a lot of emotion sometimes. It's having you think about these things that maybe you've never thought about before, have been avoiding thinking about. You send the questionnaire to me, and then I pull out everything you need to know, your unconscious attraction, why you're attracted to the people that you're attracted to, and why, how you continue to sabotage yourself in relationships, not just romantic relationships, but in life. What is your life work and your relationship work? What are your tests and lessons? I basically just give you the roadmap and say, if you do these things, if you work on these things and watch for these tests, you're going to break through to a whole nother level. You're going to get what you want. And
I have a question.
Yes.
So you're going through this roadmap and you're doing it for yourself, right? And you're taking this and you're doing all the work. What if you come across your partner and your partner is not willing? It's always been I'm doing the work. I'm taking accountability. I'm setting myself up for success. And then the partners they're not interested. Right? They're not going to meet now it's different, my partner. But in the past, let's say that you come up with your partner's like, no, that's toxic in itself, right? If your partner, go ahead. I mean, I know.
Well, here's the thing. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Our purpose here in this lifetime is to expand and grow and fully come back to who we really are. Because at the core, when we came into the world, we were pure love, no fear. And we knew everything we needed to know. And then we came in the world and we forgot it. And so everybody has different lessons that they came here to learn, right? And so if you are in a relationship where your partner can't grow with you, you have to decide, am I okay with that? Can I accept that? Because you can never force anybody to do work.
Absolutely.
Or to change. And when you're putting your energy there, you're thwarting your own expansion and your own growth.
Right.
Typically, when you continue to grow and expand, you leave people behind.
Absolutely.
But there's more people waiting. There's always your people, right? Different levels. Yeah.
And if you're wasting all that energy with the person that's not your person, you don't leave space for the person that is your person.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're literally stuck. Like your highest path is waiting for you. And that's literally all the work I do, is helping people just get in flow with the highest path. Every opportunity, every person, every door opening. When you're in complete alignment with you, which means you are doing things that feel good, you're owning your feelings, you're taking responsibility for your decisions, and you feel good and you're happy and you're excited and you're not waiting on anything external to make you feel good, everything flows. Life is so easy.
Oh God. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, God, I thought it was all aligned. Then Dr. Tari came on my show. And now I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, we're never in complete alignment all the time, right? So we have to learn to ebb and flow. So there are definitely days where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed or I'm tired. So what do? I take a nap. I set a boundary. I say, no, I got to take care of myself. And that's how you know when you're in alignment too, is you are 100% of the time always compassionate, always empathic with yourself. You're not, and people say, well, I got to be disciplined, right? That's how I make things happen. I got to keep pushing. I got to keep looking for my soulmate. You don't have to do any of that. You have to slow down.
Yeah.
Meet yourself where you're at, and and also clear fear out of the picture. Anytime we are in fear, thinking about fear, feeling fear, we're not in alignment. We are misaligned, and we stop.
Anyone who's been through a divorce knows co-parenting is not all rainbows and sunshine, especially when alcohol abuse is involved. Pair these challenges with a pandemic, and you have a perfect storm. SoberLink's alcohol monitoring system is the most convenient, reliable, and reasonable way for a parent to provide evidence that they are not drinking during parenting time. SoberLink's real-time alerts make it easy to negotiate with any party. Judges rest assured that the child is safe. Attorneys get court-admissible evidence of sobriety. And both parents have empowerment and peace of mind. Do divorce right and trust the experts in remote alcohol monitoring technology to keep your kids safe, happy, and well-adjusted. To download the guide, 5 non-negotiables for embracing a new normal that I developed with SoberLink, visit www.soberlink.com/DRR. And I think a lot of times people, they mistake boundaries with being selfish. They think that taking care of themselves and self-care and setting boundaries, that there's, for whatever reason, they're being selfish. And that's really, I don't know if that comes maybe from their childhood or where someone said, no, you know, like about taking the nap, right? I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to set a boundary. I'm going to take care of myself. Yeah. Well, you've got X, Y, and Z to do. And, you know, you've got, you know, you're a people pleaser, and
there's always something to do. Yeah, there's always some need to meet. Right. And depending on the templates of love that you learned in childhood, what if it was transactional, have to earn love, have to keep other people happy. You know, the rules of emotions that you learned as a kid, your role in the family, all these things. This is the thing. We are just children in bigger bodies until we start doing this work, right? We use all of our childhood coping strategies, which we needed, and we try to apply them to our adult life and our adult relationships, and they don't work. Wow. We have to become healthy, mature adults if we want healthy, mature love, and we want to attract healthy, mature partners.
And I'm also wondering too, and this is maybe off topic, but so your kids must be just, I can't even imagine how aligned they are. And I'm just so jealous because I'm thinking to myself, God, did I screw up my kids? Oh, like, you know, you always think to yourself, like, I want them to be their 2 boys and they're teenagers and they're, you know, and I want them to be successful in their relationships. So I'm trying to teach them like to be accountable and to be mensches and I'm just like, you know, you always think that way, but it's so interesting to me listening about how your childhood just affects your everything.
Oh, totally. You know, and my 2, I have 2 girls who are adorable, 7 and 9, and they are amazing. And they're like such a like emotional, expressive, you know, just amazing, hilarious, number one.
They are funny
little creatures. But, you know, I also say they're going to be in therapy talking about how, you know, like some of this, they listen to me do these podcasts. They listen to the affirmations that I have, and they're like, God, that's so weird. You know, they watch my reels and they make fun of me all the time. So, you know, we are going to screw up our kids. And so I'm not going to do it the same way my parents did. And they were wonderful parents, but they had a lot of shortcomings, and so do I.
Right.
You know,
it's so funny to me. Like I had Zach on my podcast, and, you know, my friends were like, I can't believe you made him. I'm like, I didn't make him do it. He wanted to do it. And, you know, I'm like, I didn't twist his arm. And then afterwards, he's like, Mom, I didn't know it was going to be up there forever. And I'm like, baby, it's evergreen, you know, like it stays forever. Yeah. He's like, my friends are listening to it. They're playing it at school. I'm like, Zach, you know, like, it's just so funny how, you know, they're just like, cracks me up.
Oh my God.
Okay. So the relationship readings, it has more than, it's in sections, right? Like 3-4 parts or something?
Oh, yes. Yes. Covers childhood, romantic relationships, friendships, and self.
Okay. I have one question about it that I found that I had a question about. Relationship blind spots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain that a little? I don't want to give it all away.
Yeah. No, you're not giving anything away. No, because I mean, this is essentially like one of my gifts, right? Like I said, a woman will come in, or I'll sit with someone for an hour, listen to them, and I can tell you like what the work is. Now with the relationship reading, there's tons more information, and I feel like I'm going to go do. It's awesome. I mean, it literally will change your life. I mean, it literally changes people's lives. And that's what I love. It's like the biggest impact with the, you know, the shortest amount of time, which is why I'm over therapy.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done. I'm like, look, let's just move on.
Let me just tell you.
You stop talking and let me tell you, right?
And some people love that. And some people aren't ready for it, and it's okay,
Yeah. I always felt like when I was in therapy, no knock on therapy at all, because I went my whole life and I love it. And I feel like I just, I love it. I always felt like I was talking and talking and talking. And I was just like, do you want to tell me something? Or do you think I'm doing okay? Or how? And she'd be like, I'd be like,
oh yeah. I was never that type of therapist.
Oh, good. I should have come to you. I was just like, but wait, just tell me a little something,
Feedback.
A little feedback. Yes, yes. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. Okay, the blind spots, the relationship blind spots.
Yeah. So basically, we just do what we know. And it literally feels like the only options. We get anxiety about the same things over and over again. We create the same stories based on the triggers and the feelings that we have. And they don't change until somebody says, hey, look at this. Either this is how you're impacting other people, or this is the story you keep telling that is based in fear that isn't true. Right. Or, whatever, like you don't set boundaries, you don't take care of yourself, you attach way too quickly before you've even assessed if somebody is compatible with you. I mean, there's so many ways that we get into relationships or try to get into relationships or seek relationships that will never work. And we will keep doing the same thing we've always done, just thinking if I meet the right person, then it's going to work out. It's never going to work out that way.
How do you stop the cycle? Tell my listeners, like, how do you stop that? Like my clients come to me, I have clients and they're like this, you're right. They keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all, you find the same people.
Yeah. You have to stop looking outward. It's not about anybody else. You have to turn the lens on yourself in a loving way. What do I need to change? Whether it's my mindset, my behavior, what do I need to heal? How do I need to see myself differently? What beliefs do I have that I feel like are truth? You probably learned these beliefs in childhood, but they're not true.
Right.
Right? I mean, until you start shifting internally, nothing externally will change. And I know people don't want to hear that. It's not sexy. They just want the right person.
Yes, they do. They're like, he's going to fall from the sky. I'm like, no, he's just not. Okay. I'm sending a couple people to you that I'm thinking of in my head right now.
Awesome. I'll just give them a reading and then I'll send them back to you.
Yes, that would be great. I'm telling you, because I feel like sometimes I get stuck with them because they're so stuck.
Yeah.
And I'm not a therapist. I don't have I write the bios and I help them date and I do I'm a cheerleader, but I do understand there's stuff that's deeper.
Yeah.
They need you. Send them to you.
And when people, and this is what I tell people all the time, when they commit to working with me, even when they sign up for the relationship reading, it's like the universe conspires with you. The universe wants you to have what you want because those things that you yearn for are on your highest path. That's why you're yearning for them. So if you are yearning and have always yearned for this, really healthy, happy, joyful, sexy relationship, it's because it's waiting for you. Oh. And when you commit to doing the work, the universe will start helping you. It always works that way.
Do you think that love, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think that being in love and love is a choice? That you choose to be in love? Or do you think it just falls at your feet?
I don't think love is necessarily just a feeling, right? I mean, there's the honeymoon phase, which is, all wrapped up in like projection and attraction. That ends. And if we're with somebody that is emotionally safe person, we can be our full self with, we can bring issues up, and they're equally committed, they're equally invested, they do, and the work as well of the relationship, then sometimes you have to choose to love and stick it out. However, people stick out relationships way too long sometimes that aren't feeding them anymore, not serving them anymore. They've outgrown them. They're actually holding them back. Yeah, so I hate saying like you have to choose to love someone, because sometimes you have to choose your love of yourself.
Absolutely.
You should always be loving yourself, and it should never come at the cost of a relationship.
Oh my gosh. Dr. Tari,
Yes.
I love you. I think you're awesome. And I know why you're just famous and everyone loves you. Okay, so let's do a couple things before I let you go because I can't keep you forever. Let's talk about your single to engaged program that's new.
Yes.
I saw that too. I'm stalking you and I saw that a couple already did it. It worked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did it.
It takes a year?
It takes, yes, 1 year. So the last one I did in 2019. So it's called Single to Engaged in a Year. And the way that I came up with this program is I was, in 2019, I had in a matter of days, I was talking with 3 different clients and I said to them the same thing. If you wanted to be engaged in a year, you could be, but not if you keep doing this. And then I realized that's the program,
So smart.
And so the purpose of the program is really for women who are, struggle to find that relationship for different reasons, whether they give too much, they're constantly disappointed, they end up heartbroken. Nothing ever seems to result in that relationship they want, whether it's marriage or, just a long-term partnership. And I want to be clear and say that, I don't think everybody who gets engaged is happy. That my goal is not engagement, find a man, get engaged, or find a woman, get engaged, right?
And this isn't one of those whatever, they're those mean ones where you're be a bitch and get the guy. That's not these funny ones. No.
No,
this is serious.
But the program is really about getting you on your highest path. And when you're on your highest path, your husband is right there, or your wife is right there. Your people are waiting for you to access them. They're waiting for you to get on your highest path. And a lot of people don't know how to do that.
They don't.
And they're just doing the same thing on ground level over here, and they're tired and they're frustrated and they're heartbroken and they feel like there's no one left. They have all these fear-based
I have people
thoughts.
For you. I'm sending people to you. I'm in my head. My head is spinning right now.
Good.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing about this program is that it's, women that come together. And in my last round, my last round is Next Level Love, but these women, get together for coffee and dinners. They're in London and LA and Texas and Mexico. And they're planning trips together and they've gotten together. You make these lifelong friends because you meet women who are doing this internal work, which opens up every door in your life and brings in so much joy. Wow. So whether you get engaged in a year or 2 years, you are on the path, you are loving life, and you will definitely be in a relationship by the end of the year. Definitely.
I mean,
this is It's miracles. I'm in the business of making miracles. Really.
There we go. Dr. Tari is in the business of making miracles, y'all. So get out your pencils or your notes on your phones and write down a couple things for me. So everything's going to be in the show notes. First of all, everything's in the show notes. Dr. Tari Mack. And let me tell you, so the book is called Every Relationship is a Test. Master Your Love Lessons and Get the Love You Deserve. That's the book. Where can we find it? Everywhere?
Amazon. You can go to Amazon. My website, drtarimack.com.
drtarimack.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Tari is Tari.
Yes, it is. Tari. Yes, which is a cool way to spell it, I think. Mm-hmm. And Single to Engaged is your program. Where can we find that? On Instagram?
On Instagram, yeah. My web person is actually creating the web version of it right now. So you can't find it on my website yet, but just contact me, DM me on Instagram if you want to know more.
And people, I have a couple people that are listening right now that I know you know who you are, that are getting a call after this. And I just think you're amazing. And I think that, we got to stick together, all of us, and help each other out. And it's tough. It's hard. And COVID was rough on everyone. I think the year was tough and people are tired, but love is out there. And I think we just have to be aligned and all that good stuff. I call it the woo-woo stuff.
Yeah. Lots of woo-woo over here. Yeah, I'm swimming in woo-woo.
I like the woo-woo stuff. I'm not really good at it because I'm all hyped up, but I need to get into the woo-woo stuff. Thank you, Tari. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, Jen, thank you. I love you. Thank you so much for having me.
I think you're awesome. Okay, everybody. So let's see. It's Tuesday because it's a Tuesday. Yes, it is. Do something great for yourself. Let's think. What can you do? You can do yoga, eat something healthy, get a walk in, work out. I don't know. Do something fabulous. Make sure you feel good today. And I don't know. You can find me at jenniferhurwitz.com, doing relationships right everywhere. You know what to do. And as usual, peace, love, and so much truth. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys. Hey, thanks for listening to Doing Relationships Right. Don't forget, if you love the show, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast episodes. And grab my books, One Happy Divorce and Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, on Amazon, Target.com, or my website, jenniferhurwitz.com. As usual, thanks for listening, and see you next week. Peace, love, and truth.